In a cloud of dust, a thunder of hooves, and a mighty...
Great Scott.
I know, this is heavy.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing Back to the Future Part 3, the conclusion to the epic trilogy of Back to the Future. At the end of the last film, we left with Doc being accidentally struck by lightning while in the DeLorean, which sent him back to the year 1885. Therefore, Marty has to team up with the 1955 version of Doc Brown to get sent back to the past to rescue Doc Brown in 1885, because only a week after him arriving in 1885 does he get killed by Mad Dog Tannen. So that's kind of the premise of what happens in this film. But before we go into any more detail about my thoughts of the film, I'm going to go into a quick content review of what's in the film. So what can you expect? There's going to be no spoilers in this section, but there will be in my thoughts.
I'm going back to 1885 and I'm bringing you home.
So to start off the content review, we're going to look at the violent content. It's the Old West, so you see some fist fights, you see some standoffs, you've got some, you have like gunshots, but nobody really like dies. There's no blood really seen, but it's kind of like a Wild West themed film. So you kind of have that kind of, you have like gunfire and just that kind of thing with Indians and cowboys. So it's not too bad. It's really PG, nothing really to worry about there. If you move over to suggestive content, you see one character, you can see part of his backside for a couple of seconds there. And there are a couple of kissing scenes throughout the film. And that's really all that's there as well. I mean, for violence content and suggestive content, there's not much in here to worry about. If you go over to drug and alcohol, since it is the Old West, there are bars, people drink. Doc Brown taking a shot of whiskey and it completely knocks him out and they got to get him sober. You do see some smoking as well. But since it's the Wild West, that comes with the territory. The biggest thing wrong with this film is its language when it comes to content, because there is a lot of language in here. Since it is the Old West, we hear a lot of D words, H words, S words, A words, B words, and the Lord's name in vain. There's probably about 2 or 3 of each, so it's really surprising that they were able to get away with so much of that in a PG movie. There are 4 uses of the S word, 3 uses of the B word, as a caveat to the 2 each. So there's a lot of language in here to consider. If you have watched the other Back to the Futures, however, it's pretty much similar to the other ones. Alright, so I'm going to jump into my thoughts of this film.
It's a science experiment!
So I really like the dynamic of going to the Wild West. I really think that was a great move for Back to the Future. Back to the Future 2 felt really repetitive of Back to the Future. But Back to the Future 3 was like unique in its own way. It still had those couple of scenes that were like similar throughout all the films. Like if you watch these films in a marathon like I did, I watched them all in 3 nights. You see the similarities between each film. But at the same time, Back to the Future 3 has its own unique parts that make it even better. And I think that the story for it is just really amazing. Marty had the opportunity to go back to the future, get back to his life, and move on. But he said, no, I'm going to go help my friend, because living for a week and then dying to being shot in the back is not the way to go out.
Doc's living in the past.
Just try it, Tannen!
But he's about to be history.
What kind of a future do you call that?
So he went back for his friend, and together they're able to get back to the future. So it's just really great to see. They really tie it up well in a bow when the DeLorean gets destroyed at the end of the film. And, I mean, of course, Doc Brown shows up at his time travel train, but the DeLorean's destroyed, so Marty McFly and Jennifer are able to live their lives. Their future's not written, so they're able to feel free to write their own future. So it's really good to see that. Marty McFly learns the lesson that I was hoping he would learn, in which he can't be always cowering to people whenever they call him yellow-bellied or chicken. He's got to stand up for himself, and it's really good to be able to learn that lesson. It's great to see that be taught in a film that is so inspiring, and it's a classic in my opinion. It's just really great to be able to watch that in a Back to the Future film. Overall, this film probably gets an 8 out of 10 for me. It's the second best of the trilogy for me. As I've said before, I think the first Back to the Future was the best, the third is the second, and the second's the last. They all have their unique parts, and they're all great in their own ways. But that's just my rating of them. Let me know what Back to the Future film you guys like the best. Let me know why you like it, and we can start a conversation talking about that film. If you have any other trilogies or films you guys want me to check out, let me know, and I will be sure to get that done. If you enjoyed this video today, leave a like and a subscribe, and we hope that you have a good rest of your day.
Tannen meets his match.
I'll hunt you and shoot you down like a duck.
It's dog, Buford. Shoot him down like a dog.